That's what I thought. This time out, I'm going to share with you what is quite possibly the oddest music I'll ever feature on this show. And knowing tiki music, that's saying a lot. The album is Pacific Paradise by Paul Page, a 2018 release from the Swedish record label Subliminal Sounds. But before I get into the music, I have to share with you some serious backstory so you'll be able to make sense of what is to come. Paul Page was born in 1910, either in Indiana or the Yukon Territory. I've seen conflicting information online and neither is definitive, but I'm inclined to go with Indiana. As a young adult, Page played professional basketball and did some work as a male model, but he found his most success as a band leader in the 1930s for NBC Radio, first with a Hapa Hawaiian combo, and then later with a big band. Following World War II, capitalizing on the growing popularity of Polynesian-themed bars and restaurants like Don the Beachcomber, Trader Vic's, and their imitators, he developed a musical act and with a small backing band, toured the West Coast's various tiki establishments, even though they weren't called tiki at the time. Even today, Page's act remains unique. Firmly rooted in the Hapa traditions, his music relied heavily on the steel guitar, but also incorporated organ work evocative of Korla Pandit and Proto-Exotica bird calls and jungle sounds. So far, so good. Nothing too far out of the ordinary, right? But vocals are where things take a turn. Sure, Page sings on some tracks, and he's got a decent voice, but the majority of his time, he does spoken word narrative over the accompanying music that's equal parts sea shanty and beat poet. His whole persona is that of a weathered seaman who spent the bulk of his life sailing the South Pacific, when the truth is he didn't even visit Hawaii until the mid-1960s, nearly 30 years into his career. Here's where Page's genius comes in. He recorded and pressed his own albums to sell at his shows, just like bands on Bandcamp today. But the approach was novel at the time and wasn't cheap. His albums featured a mix of original compositions and Hapa covers. His first album included the songs Castaway, Ports a Call, The Reef is Calling, Pieces of Eight, and Let's Have a Luau, each of which had a title that referenced one of the Polynesian restaurants he performed at. Clever, right? What's more, Page printed up various album sleeves with one of those titles on the cover, so whichever venue he'd perform at, he'd sell copies there. If he performed at the Reef, then he sold copies of his album that was titled The Reef is Calling, and so on. So even though the track listings never changed, the man was not shy about exploiting opportunity when he saw it. Which brings us to Pacific Paradise, which is a compilation of the majority of Page's music that falls within the tiki oeuvre. I have been known to complain on occasion on the miserly number of tracks on some recent tiki music releases. That's not the case here. Subliminal Sounds has packed in a whopping 31 tracks onto this release. That's enough Paul Page to last anyone a lifetime. The first track I'm going to listen to here is Pieces of Eight.
You take a million lights along the bay. You add a trillion stars, the Milky Way. And as you lift your eyes to the moon up in the skies, then you realize that this was meant to be. You take the magic of a tropic isle, mix in the sparkle of a sunny smile, then add a taunting bar from a haunting steel guitar.
Okay, right off the bat, the Hapa influence is inescapable. You've got the Hawaiian steel guitar front and center with a catchy melody and the backing rhythm section that was so common in the 30s and 40s. Page certainly shows his influences. Then the music fades a few decibels and Page begins his spoken word narrative. It's not terrible. Is it a little cornball? Sure, but the lyrics are just delivered with such gosh darn earnestness that it works. Honestly, with his rich baritone, I'd imagine that were he alive today, Page could build a significant career narrating audiobooks. I'm just saying. Next up, it's all wiki-wacky in Hawaii.
Out in old Hawaii where the tradesmen softly sigh and skies are always blue. Every day's a holiday and you will throw your cares away and learn to wiki-wacky woo. It's all wiki-wacky in Hawaii. For play is the order of the day. For all the beach boys sing their love songs in the wiki-wacky way. It's all wiki-wacky in Hawaii.
Again, the Hapahalli elements here are inescapable. The chattering monkey brings to mind exotic sound effects, especially since this is an apparent stock sound available in the studio, as I've heard it used on various exotic records from other artists. And this is one of the songs that Page actually sings on, so you can tell here that he can actually carry a tune when he wants to. It's a pleasant, catchy tune, but the downside is that it's an example of English speakers making fun of the Hawaiian language's trait of ending words with vowels. The fact that Page appears to harbor genuine affection for Hawaii only goes so far in excusing the mockery, however gentle it may be. There are a number of songs here that are more than a little patronizing to cultures that aren't part of the English-speaking white-bread U.S. mainstream. So if that's going to be an issue for you, then this might not be the album for you. Excusing it as a product of its time does a disservice to everyone because history shows there were plenty of people in this era who did know better. Still, I firmly believe that history needs to be preserved even when it's not perfect. And I'm glad Subliminal made the choice to include even the Page songs that may induce some cringe. And to follow up that serious discussion, here's the silliest track on the album, Chicken Kona Kai.
There once was a farmer in a little Kona town, an Akamai Kane by the name Kai Brown. He played the steel guitar while the chickens gathered round, and they cackled out the chorus of this syncopated sound. So up with the right foot, and everybody say, Heli ana oe, and we oni oni e. And up with the left foot and hit the hiki-a. And that's what the Howleys call the chicken reel today.
I mean, what can I say about a song based on the melody from Turkey in the Straw that uses a plucked guitar string to imitate a chicken clucking? Considering the sheer number of chickens reputed to roam in Hawaii, sadly, I've never been there to see it myself, this may be one of the most authentic songs on the whole disc. Now, I'm going to break my normal rule of 3 and share with you a 4th song, simply because there are so many songs collected here and I want to give a good sampling. The final song I'm leaving you with here is The Big Island Says Aloha.
The big island says aloha, and if you must sail away, the big island's big aloha will call you back again someday. From Hilo in the east to Kona in the west, there's enough aloha for us all. From Kohala in the north, Ka'o in the south, you'll hear aloha call. Aloha!
Whatever his shortcomings, Page wears his love for Hawaii on his sleeve, and that comes through in the music. Hawaii's statehood in 1959 drove a lot of mainland fascination with the islands. But I have to wonder how much Page's enthusiastic championing of Hawaii in his shows contributed to driving tourism interest from the West Coast in the 1960s and 70s. At the very least, it must have been an aspirational destination from folks coming away from his shows. I've said it before, but it bears repeating that his affection is infectious. And I have to say, the steel guitar pairs better with the Corla Pandit-esque organ than I would have expected. Paul Page is an odd duck in the tiki music category, to say the least. Neither fully hapa-haole nor exotica, he literally is in a class by himself. In his lifetime, he wrote nearly 100 songs, but because of his gimmick of retitling albums after the venues he was performing in, I'm still not entirely clear how many Polynesian records of distinct material he ever published. I think it's 3, but I'm no expert. I do know his original pressings are highly sought after by collectors. So this compilation is the best bet for the rest of us. I don't think putting on Paul Page for hours at a time is your best move for the next Tiki get-together you host, but if you are one of those folks who delights in custom playlists, mixing in his distinctive sound amongst the Martin Denny, Lost Straitjackets, and Takshindo tracks is a fun change of pace that doesn't wear out its welcome and marks you as someone with access to deep tiki cuts. Well played. As always, I will include a link below to purchase this album. If you're able to, I encourage you to support the independent labels that find these obscure artists and bring them back into print for you and me to listen to in the modern era. So, until next time we meet, keep tikiing your ears off.